for Big D Energy, live on Woodward Sports. Join four-time Stanley Cup champion and legendary badass Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neil Rule, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., as they give their takes on all things Detroit sports. The number one midday show in Detroit is on. Welcome to Big D Energy.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Big D Energy.
Big D!
Hi.
Right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neil Rule, that guy, Sean Felicia. We have Spencer Raxter in the building.
Hello.
We got KG today, Sean.
Yes.
There he is.
Yes, sir. Right here.
Here
Reporting
he
for
is.
Chase in
duty.
the Chase Lounge.
Yep. It's Chase's birthday today.
Birthday boy Chase.
Happy birthday to Chase, by the way. Happy birthday, my friend.
Appreciate it, guys.
Well, Sean, anything happened this weekend?
Nah, pretty boring weekend. It was, overall pretty boring weekend. And, I just, for me, Neil, I am so sick and tired of people telling me they didn't see what they saw and playing dumb. I know we're going to get into it, and you know how it's going to fall, and I'm going to do my best to talk rationally, but, if you're going to do it,
Do
if you're
it.
going to stick out your chest, then do it. Don't come out after the fact and say, I didn't know. And then have people on your very staff say, no, you did know because I told you. If you're going to do it, do it. I don't have a problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it adds to the drama. This isn't guys swinging their helmet around the dangerous crap, okay? This was something different. But if you're going to do it, do it. Come on, man. To puss out like that, not down with that.
Yep. That's where I am too. If you're going to be that guy, be that guy. Don't be a pussy right after. You want to do it, you can. You're mad. You are allowed to stand right there. And they're allowed to move you if they want to. And that's what happened. And Jaden Akins and Trey Holloman both told you could see on video, both of them looking at those guys being like, hey, can you guys move so our guys can kiss the court? And they didn't. So Trey went up there and he moved them. And if you're going to be that guy, be that guy. You're not allowed to stand there in a specific spot to incite a reaction and then play the victim when you get that reaction. That's soft. That's pussy shit. It shows. Your head coach is going to be a soft bitch like that. Proves why you have a soft bitch team. And, maybe we could start a new tradition of you getting dragged by double digits both times you play Michigan State. So, you didn't know? Well, it's time to learn up, Dusty. You're not in Kansas anymore, Toto.
So we have that to get into. Certainly, we have tons of NFL stuff to get into. It's just last night, I'm in Indianapolis, by the way. Golden Grizzlies Horizon League semifinals tonight against Robert Morris. 80 minutes away from the NCAA tournament again. But I'm sitting at dinner yesterday, St. Elmo's, by the way, Sean. You know, you've been there. And the phone just explodes, and mayhem's breaking out in the National Football League. And they took over the night. That NFL, Sean, they did it again.
They do it all the time. Your life is better if you just accept. Honestly, accept that the NFL. Neil, I'm not even joking. The NFL is going to own everything, and that's the way it is. And they're not going to take the backseat anymore. You and I were talking about this a couple weeks ago. Like for the NBA crowd, I get it. If you want to stay on Christmas Day, fine. That's fine. But know this: the NFL has served notice that that's going to become their day now. That doesn't mean that you can't watch it and enjoy it, and that's not your tradition. But the NFL takes a backseat to nobody, Neil. It really is remarkable.
It is. Woodward Sports chat thread, J2 Element. Jump in there, by the way. If you want to jump the line, use the super chat. We'll get to those the second that they come across. J2 Element, good morning from LA. What up? Good morning, J2. Up early with us out there on the West Coast. I appreciate it. Cody Engel, odd. Michigan didn't have guys at half court all game during free throws. Shift God, Michigan basketball down bad. And I've been thinking about this. Let's just get into the Michigan State stuff and then swing into the NFL, because we're going to be pressed for time today, Sean, because there's so much going on. I have in our Woodward Sports chat thread, something reared its head, and I don't even know that people know it in our little Woodward Sport text thread. And I'm going to get to that coming up in the second hour as well. And I can already tell you it's going to get heated, because it's time to call some people out and get into reality. And I have some math to back it up. And I know Sean, that perks Sean's ears up right away, because we have some fact to deal into it. But let's do the Michigan State thing first, because we're there right now. Woodward Sports chat thread, RJ Graham. I hope that game is on ESPN Plus. Oakland, Robert Morris is on ESPNU tonight, as a matter of fact.
There we go.
But anyway, so a shout out. But anyway, though, the Michigan State thing, and I'm going to go this way with it. And Spenny, like you talked about it. You kind of spoke your piece on it with, the altercation part of it. KG's there, right? So I have to do this. I have to run this by KG. And Sean, I want your take on it too. The half court thing, I'll leave to Spenny, I think, described that pretty well. The Michigan fan on social media, KG, you'd think they were 3-17 in the Big Ten, man. Like, what is with you? If you guys can't win, you guys really get down bad, don't you?
Yeah, and like I said, it's not a reflection of the whole fan base. I tried to, tell you last week.
Hey, KG, no. It seems to be, my friend. It seems to be a reflection of the whole fan base.
Well, I don't share the same sentiment. Just based on, if you go into Breslin and you get your ass beat like that, then Michigan State reserves the right to do whatever the hell they want to do. It's kind of the same thing as the flag situation from this past football season. But just in terms of what you were saying with the fan base, Neil, I do understand, and I think that most sensible Michigan fans do appreciate what Dusty May has done to this point. I mean, we're talking about a 22-win team here. That's night and day from what the hell we had before. So that part notwithstanding, but based on how they were playing until this previous month, this month of March, I can't necessarily blame fans for seeing what they're seeing right now and being a little bit upset, because this did look like that it had the potential to maybe be a little bit greater than any of us imagined. We kind of, had thoughts of maybe them going to a Sweet 16, dare I say, an Elite 8, getting down to the Final Four. A lot of people thought they had the talent and the way they were coached. A lot of people thought that they could have made a run, and the fact that you have gotten not only just bad basketball, but this just goes against everything that they were doing earlier in the season. It's like two different teams out there. So I can't necessarily blame fans for being upset about that part of it, because it did look like we were going to have something better. And sadly, over this last month, it is not the case. I mean, they were literally in contention for the Big Ten, and to see how they've played over this last month, it's atrocious. It's embarrassing.
And real quick, in the Woodward Sports chat, Ryan's reaction says, "How are you going to be upset about someone standing on a logo that's half the size of the entire court?" Okay, play stupid. Be ignorant. That's fine. Don't be a tough guy. You can't. You can't be the victim and a tough guy at the same time.
I agree with
Those players knew exactly what they were doing. They had no Michigan guard had stood there during free throws the entire game except for that moment. Both of them were told by both Michigan guards on the floor, "Hey, can you guys move? We're trying to do something here for our seniors." That we do every year. That is well documented, and as Sean said before the show, it has documentaries on. So
if only there was a documentary,
yes,
Spenny.
Right.
Either play the victim or be a tough guy. You can't be both, because then you look like a bitch. Flat out.
And that's the if that's the tack that you want to take. And by the way, Dusty May has now entered the chat in regards to the Michigan State thing.
Right.
He wasn't in the chat before. Now he's in the chat. Don't come out with the passive aggressive, "Aren't my guys allowed to stand there?" And then Coach May, with all due respect, lie that you didn't know about this. When somebody from your own staff said, "Oh, no, I told you. That's fine. I don't have any problem with it. It's part and parcel with everything going on, okay? But now, in the back of my head, I'm like, is the Washtenaw sheriff going to call and try to press charges or anything? It is bitch-like behavior.
It is.
And I don't have a problem with it. Just don't play stupid. Don't tell me I didn't see what you saw and you didn't see what you saw. That's the issue I have with all of it.
Yeah, and all the Michigan fans in here saying, well, we shouldn't do traditions like stick or during a free throw like lunchbox or Rando Smalls. Who effing cares? Okay, so you guys are cool with being pussies. Then just admit that.
Yeah,
and,
like I said,
and that's fine.
I don't vibe with that sentiment at all. Like, Michigan State is well within their right to feel that way. And like you said, it's just not a good look, especially when you go to the Breslin and you get fucking embarrassed like you got embarrassed. But when Michigan wins and we do our traditions, there's not a problem. So I just don't think it was the best look for Dusty May. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he truly didn't know, but either way, it's not a good look.
Yeah, and you're standing on business, standing in the middle of the court. Maybe do that in your home court, and you won't get blown out by double digits at Chrysler. Maybe be a tough guy then, but no, you're going to do it after because you can't do it in a game because your team's soft, just like your head coach.
Well, I think the Michigan basketball fan base is kind of being soft, right? Lest you forget, you were 3-17 in the Big Ten last year, and to look at what's going on, and once Dusty May signed that contract, it's all falling apart, and he doesn't understand the rivalry. That's what the teams that lose always say when they have a new coach. Across the board, anytime you have a new coach, they lose in a rivalry. The default mode is, well, he doesn't understand the rivalry. Like, and these are two things when I talk about what happened in that game yesterday, and I talk about like the Michigan basketball program now. I like Dusty May. He's a good coach. It's been proven. You know how I know? You're not 3-17 in the Big Ten this year like you were last year. That happened. And but at the same time, Woodward Sports Super Chat, by the way, Freddie Felt 313. I'll be sitting courtside tonight for the Oakland game in Indy. Make sure you dap me up after we get the dub, El Presidente. Go Grizz. I will dap you up, Freddie Felt. Here's the other thing with it. For these things that always happen, it sure does seem like it's Michigan involved all the time at every location. And look, I got no dog in the fight here. I don't. I'm just telling you, doesn't it seem like it's always Michigan involved in these things? Why is that? Why is it always Michigan? For a school that says, well, there's nothing we can do about this, you sure seem to be involved a lot. Is that fair? Like, does anybody else feel that way? Does anybody else notice that for some reason it's always Michigan?
That's where I'm gonna jump off because I'm fine with that. I'm fine with hating your rivals. Right. I'm fine with pushing and shoving. I'm fine with getting into stuff. The Michigan Ohio State little scuffle where they're barking at each other in the tunnel. I like that shit. That's what sports is about. You're supposed to hate your rivals, but you can't be a pussy and play the victim as well. You can't have it both ways. That's what I fucking hate. Like, either be a tough guy or play the victim. You can't be both. So pick one. And if you're going to play the victim, you're a pussy.
It was a shove, okay? Like, seriously, it was a shove. And I don't mind it. Fine. They knew what they were doing. Let's be adults for just a second, okay? Just for a second. You ready? They knew what they were doing.
They were doing it on purpose.
You know it. I know it. We know it. Coach May knows it. Somebody on his staff knows it, okay?
Yeah.
They knew what they were doing. I'm fine with it.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Don't bitch about it after.
Exactly.
Right.
You can't do it. This isn't swinging helmets. Spenny, I'll say the same thing. I don't want to see some Michigan State kid swinging his helmet in the tunnel.
No, absolutely not.
I don't give a shit what the circumstances are.
Yeah.
I don't want to see some Michigan. You clock a kid with that. That's sorry. That's bad.
Right. That's
shit,
bad.
Okay. All right. I don't want to see that. What happened yesterday? Whatever. It's another chapter in a rivalry. Don't be a bitch about it.
Yeah.
Later.
And
Can't
Neil,
do it. You lost the right.
And Neil, I'm only going to push back on one point that you were making because everything else that, Sean and Spinney is saying is fair game. I fully believe in that, and if it was the other way around, I would feel the same way. But I don't think we should just, shut up and be grateful as Michigan fans just because, we've been gifted a 22-win team this year. They were showing more, and this is something that you've often said. I think it's okay to expect a little more, especially when at the beginning they were showing us more, and now we're doing a 180 in terms of March. So that's the only part I'll push back on. I think it's okay for fans to change their expectations as the year goes on. And if we expected a little more and we didn't get that, that's fine. I don't think that makes us ungrateful for where we're at now. But I'm not going to shut up either and just accept my 22 wins. No, they were battling for the Big Ten. They looked like they were going to be a force. I think fans have a right to do that.
Well, it's over a 3-17 program in Big Ten play.
Understandable.
You're just going to walk in and win the Big Ten, man. Like it's not going to work that way.
But it almost did work that way. But this month shit has gone differently.
They fell apart.
Yes,
and
like it was looking that way.
I agree that Michigan fans have the right to be upset with they were in the driver's seat in the Big Ten. They
Literally.
controlled their own destiny, and they fell apart down the stretch.
We have a right to be upset.
Yeah.
We do it all the time. I'm a firm believer in changed expectations. I am. I cannot tell you how many Lions seasons, like you came into a season where you're like, you know what, I'll go back a couple of years ago, right? As that season progressed, I wasn't thinking playoffs in 2023. I wasn't thinking 2022. I wasn't thinking playoffs at all. And then as the season progressed and you find yourself in that position on that freezing cold Carolina morning, you know what? You're damn right I wanted the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yes, you should take advantage of Carolina. Yes, you should go to Green Bay and win that game. So in that regard, I get the expectation things. Neil, tell me if this sounds familiar. Both things can be true here.
There you go.
What you're saying is 3-17, the absolute debacle that, quite frankly, a lot of people didn't want to admit because it was Juwan Howard, because he means so much to that program. It was a debacle. Anybody who was paying attention knew it was a debacle. So, yes, you can be very happy that you're in a different place, but at the same time, if you go back a month ago, where this team eventually ended up, I don't think a lot of people, I admitted it to you guys. I was terrified. I was terrified of this Michigan team. I really was. And quite frankly, we saw them as soft.
All right, let's do this. Let's take the break. We'll clean up some of the comments in the YouTube chat. Remember, subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Jump in there. Get your thoughts out there. Spenny, where are we going with this? I didn't open up my rundown here yet.
FeldmanAuto.com,
everybody. You guys already know what it is. 19 Feldman locations. But what about Feldman Chevrolet in Novi? They're Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer. They're the nation's #1 EV dealer. And they got the deals popping for you right now. How about a 2025 Equinox? You can lease it for just $286 per month. You could scan the QR code on the screen. Go see George and his team over there at Feldman Auto and Feldman Chevrolet in Novi. Those are my guys. I bought a car there. Sean's bought a car there. Sam Flannel's bought a car there. Rack in the Woodward Sports chat thread, he bought a truck there. Like, you guys know. You guys know what it is. Go to FeldmanAuto.com.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
What's up, everybody? For Woodward.com. Yes, get the very best in Detroit sports wearables. Get ready for opening day. Baseball's ready to go. The Pistons, a playoff lock. The Red Wings are trying to get it together. But all of it adds up to one specific spot. Shop at Woodward Sports. The F them picture. The Myles Garrett dream is dead. We're going to talk about it in a couple minutes. But, hey, F them picks anyway. Shop.woodwardsports.com. All right, back at it. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports. My name is Neil Rule in Indianapolis with basketball tonight. The Rising League semifinal. Legion back. Wood Compound in Birmingham. Chase the birthday boy. Spencer Raxter, AG, Woodward Sports. Let's see comments about, let me see here. Mike G, Neil, Devin Bush, midfield first in stadium. And he got in.
All right, we're chopping all over the place there, Neil. We'll reconnect with Neil. We got the Woodward chat going on. You boys going to have to tell me. I don't have the monitor in front of me. Certainly want to get what you guys are saying. I'm just going to reiterate what we've been talking about all morning. I don't have a problem with it. You guys know what side of the fence I'm on. I don't hide it. I like Dusty May. Okay? If his intention yesterday was to insert himself in the rivalry, mission accomplished.
Yep.
Yeah.
He did it. Congratulations. He did it, but don't get mad. You guys know, okay? This is where sometimes it's tough to say this, okay? You guys are adults. You know damn well that he knew damn well what he was doing.
And shout out to Peaceful Tim with 5 gifted subs in the chat.
Ooh.
And 100%, Sean. That's what it is. It's fine. I'm cool with it. Just don't be a pussy about it after.
No. Listen, I like that stuff. I will say this again, Spenny, and I don't know if you and I have had this conversation. I'm a firm believer in this, as Stick has now entered the chat. I am a firm believer in the reality of this. Our world is a better world when we have a relevant Michigan and a relevant Michigan State. I am serious. And I know there are some Spartan fans that sit back and, how could you say that? And there are probably some Michigan fans that say that. How can you say that? It's better. Because you know what? Normally, if that was a 3-17 basketball team yesterday, how many people are tapped into that? Seriously. How many people are tapped into that? The fact that Dusty May has made them relevant and a cute story, and a story I might add, KG, we were talking about last week.
Yeah.
I think this team has an opportunity to win a game or two in the tournament. I really, truly do. Neil, I don't know your thoughts, but this is good for everybody. Because if this was a shit show Michigan team with a former hero that a lot of people really didn't want to take a shot at, we're not paying all that much attention to the activity that took place up in East Lansing yesterday.
No, but Sean, again, like it goes back to it. Danny G. Normally, Michigan fans are the softies, but it's all you guys that are softy this morning. And I brought up the fact too.
Okay.
You're mad at yourself. Okay.
I figured Spenny would. Spenny would enjoy that one.
It's just fucking delusional, man. That's why I fucking hate Michigan fans.
No, hey. But on the flip side of the coin, it's in here too. People talking about. You look at Tactile Puma said, well, what about the flag planting thing at Michigan? And people got all upset at that and all that kind of stuff. The moral of the story is like the Devin Bush thing, the flag planting thing. Yesterday, you know who the common denominator in all this is all the time? Who is it? Who's the common denominator? We know the answer. Like at what point is it Michigan fans? At what point is it Michigan that always seems to be involved in this? For real, what is it?
And like I said, I just want to end it here because I don't want to drag this out too long. Yeah. Like Sean said, I'm fine with them standing there. They don't not have to stand there. It's on the court during a game. You can do that. Just you don't act like you didn't know what you're doing, and don't be a pussy about literally intentionally doing something to spark a reaction and then getting a reaction from it and be, oh, why would they do that? Like, no, you can't be a tough guy and a bitch at the same time.
Are our guys allowed to stand and have court during free throws?
Yeah.
Okay, then.
And I can't even defend it. I got to say her quiet because if the shoe was on the other foot, I would feel the exact same way. So, and that's what I would just urge Michigan fans. Imagine if it was you. Imagine if that was your tradition. You whooped their ass by 20-plus points, and then they did some shit like that and went in the media and did that. It's not a good look. It's not.
Yeah, and then that's only my point about it. Like, at what point is it Michigan? Because they're always the ones involved. So, don't give me. And that's been my thing about, you guys know this. Like, when we talk about the Michigan thing, like, you act one way but claim you're another, and that's the problem that I have with it. And I like Dusty May, and I like the Michigan basketball team. And Dusty May again took them from 3-17. Like, I know that Michigan fans have washed that from their memory, but they were 3-17 in the Big Ten last year. And Dusty May's good, and he'll be good, and they have him signed. And you know what I mean? Like, they will never be 3-17 under Dusty May, like they were under
don't
Juwan
say it
Howard,
like that way.
Michigan hero.
No.
But if he keep coaching like this, I don't know.
No, they won't. They won't. But yeah, let's do this then, Spenny. We'll take the break now, and then we'll get into the NFL stuff because a ton of activity happened. We got to talk about this Za'Darius Smith thing, and we'll temperature check the room, I guess. Where are we going, Spenny?
Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness. PlanetFitness.com is the web address, and it doesn't matter. You don't even need the web address because there's always a Planet Fitness close to you. There's over 50 of them in Metro Detroit. There's over 2,600 of them around the world, and you can make it a part of your daily routine like I do. Planet Fitness, they're everywhere. You can go in, get your work done. They have clean facilities. You can take your shower, get on about your day, and your work is done for the day. I don't know what else to tell you guys. Don't pay more money to lift the same weights. You got a friend that's paying $70 a month for a gym membership. Why? I don't know. So with all that being said, go to planetfitness.com. Planet Fitness, don't pay more money to lift the same weights.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Head to WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com. Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
Attention sports fans, get the best injury insight with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine here on Woodward Sports. He's our injury insider, live every Tuesday on Big D Energy and Thursdays on Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. If you need to get right, if you're dealing with back pain, any kind of issue, Dr. Pierce is not just a doctor of the stars. He can help you out as well. Visit him at MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call him at 248-426-9944.
All right, keeping it pushing. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neil Rule, Sean Belesian, the whole squad's out. And happy to have you in the Woodward Sports chat thread. Smash the like button if you are there. Use the super chat, too, if you want to skip the line like Byrne did. Stupid Browns and Myles Garrett pretending like they were going to part ways just to get everyone excited and talking about that bum team. So, Sean, Byrne put it in the super chat, so we can go that way first because it doesn't matter because we're going to get to all of it. I'm around a couple of people that are Bears fans in the Oakland travel party. We have a player from Ohio, athletic director from Ohio as well. And when that news dropped, I got to asking him about it and stuff like that. And it's pretty unilateral. They were happy about it, but at the same time, like, they said to themselves, well, what are we going to do about the quarterback spot? And that seems to be their big thing right now. But, Sean, Myles Garrett, look, everyone's fallen for this, Sean, and this is going to be something that I bring up here kind of throughout the show. Like the Derek Barnes thing. People were losing their mind about that, when in reality, you are what's guaranteed. That's what you are in this football league. You are what's guaranteed. You're seeing all these eye-popping numbers. But as you look at it, and Spenny just put it up there, on the screen. So, when you look at it, it's not necessarily what you're reading, what you're seeing. There's more to it, but make no mistake, Myles Garrett did get paid. And look, I'm not even saying it from the Lions' perspective, Sean. I'm just looking at it as the Browns organization, to me, did a very Browns thing. They have the chance. They did the worst move in the history of the NFL. The worst move in the history of the NFL with the Deshaun Watson trade, cost of acquisition, guaranteed $250 million, all of it. The worst move in NFL history. And, Sean, they had a chance here to get out from under that. And if it were me, what I would have done is I actually would have traded Myles Garrett to reset my franchise, have a ton of draft capital, because that seems to be what works. But not the Browns. They don't do things the right way. But I wasn't crushed the way everybody else was. Sean, what was your initial reaction when you saw this news?
Myles Garrett played everybody, and good for him. Congratulations. Myles Garrett played everybody. We can pretend he didn't. He played everybody. There were cities all over the NFL landscape, like our fair city, that were talking about what would it take to get Myles Garrett. How could Myles Garrett help this team? Is he a fit, et cetera, et cetera. It wasn't about wanting to win. It was about the money, and he got the money, and he stayed where he's at. Because if it was about to win, if it was about wanting to win, why the hell did he stay in Cleveland? That is a franchise that is going to be in bad, disastrous lands for the foreseeable future, piggybacking on what you just said. Congratulations. Myles, you played everybody. You really did. That was, Neil, initial reaction. And then my second reaction is I was mad at me. But really, I was mad at me. I was like, dude, you fell for it again. Yeah, you legitimately thought that maybe, just maybe, the Lions could get involved in this and make that big move. And Neil, again, how many times do we say this? And it came up after the show on Friday. That doesn't mean that I don't trust Brad Holmes. I totally trust Brad Holmes. But yeah, did I want a big splash? Yeah. Did I want a known that seemingly was making a move so he could win? Yeah. And I fell for it as well. So, Myles, congratulations. You won, bro.
Sam Flannel's actually in the chat, and he brings up the point, I think the overriding point. He says Myles Garrett's going to go down as one of the greatest defensive players in the NFL history. However, the Browns will never win anything with him there. Yep. And that's kind of my point. I don't understand the Browns move, but then again, I've never understood the Browns moves. I didn't understand when they did the Deshaun Watson thing. I didn't understand when they restructured his contract to stretch out his hit further, and then did it again. And I don't get it. I'll never get it. But that's the way that the Browns operate. So I would just say this, and this isn't like me being bitter as a Lions fan or anything like that. I can't be mad at something that wasn't available.
Nope.
Like the Max Crosby thing, when everybody kind of flipped out about that, and the pushback I'm seeing, because Sean, here's what I want to drive at with this. Here's the point of bringing it up. I can't be mad that they didn't get Myles Garrett or Max Crosby. They were never available. So, like, the people that are in the streets, Sean, this weekend, though, I think is a red letter moment for Lions fans from this perspective, Sean. Do you notice when you look around, and when I was looking at the social media reactions to everything that was going on, have Lions fans kind of turned on Brad Holmes a little bit? Because I'm kind of getting that sentiment, man. I really, really am. With he's got to do something. And when is Brad Holmes going to start to do something? This is literal discussion that's out there, Sean. Have you noticed this at all?
Yeah, a little bit. And Neil, I'll say the same thing that we've said in our defense. Brad Holmes hasn't lost me. I don't know how he could lose anybody. But here's the bold things can be true. Yeah, I do want them to make a bold move. Yeah, I do want them to make moves that I see other franchises making. Yes, I do. I'm not going to lie. But do I trust them? Absolutely. And Neil, I'll reiterate, Myles Garrett played everybody. This wasn't about winning. This wasn't about going to some place that he wanted to win. Why on earth would you stay in Cleveland? Anybody with half a brain in their head knows that they aren't winning anything anytime soon, okay? Mm-hmm. They are in disastrous waters, and guess what? he just made him even choppier. He really did. His wake made those waves even choppier. But coming back to Brad Holmes, I cannot believe that people consistently miss this point. And I sent you guys a screenshot the other day. I can want Brad to make a big move. I can want Brad to go out and get one of those names that we all know, where you don't have to do a sell job. And you know what? Because he can. And yet, this is the crazy part, so stick with me, I can still be on Team Brad. And I think I can speak for everybody in this room. KG, Chase, Spenny, and you, Neil, as well in your hotel room. I'm still on Team Brad. But yeah, do I feel a little more antsy and itchy and come on, Brad, man, I need my fix, man. Yes, I do. I'm not going to lie. But I'm also still Team Brad. And it's that critical thinking. How people can't say both things can be true is truly remarkable to me.
It's what society is now.
It's
one or the other.
Or the other, yeah.
There's no nuance. There's no both things can be true.
It's ridiculous.
Woodward Sports chat thread, hoof-hearted. If Derek Barnes makes every cent of his contract, he would be the 17th highest paid linebacker in the league. He would have to be about that to make all of his money and incentives. And hoof-hearted, like that was this was part of why I brought that up just now about Brad Holmes. I would say if you went across the board and you did a poll of, do you like the Derek Barnes contract? I think no would win. I do. I think with Lions fans right now, given their current climate, I think no would win. And my point of it is this is where it falls into what I was just talking about. What is reported versus what is. Right. And with Derek Barnes, on absolute disaster, if it's an absolute disaster, it's 3 years and $8 million fully guaranteed. Like that's what it is, right? Like it's just for me, 3 years and $16 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
At worst case scenario, that's what it is. You want it to be 3 at 24. Because if it's 3 at 24, he's in the Pro Bowl.
Exactly.
Like that. You see what I'm saying here, guys? Like think for a second, man. And if it's a disaster, it's a $16 million hit spread over 3 years that you could probably tack on a void year at the end of it to bring it down even more. Sean, when I had this epiphany yesterday when I was running on the treadmill thinking about it, and I thought that's what it is. Like the people don't understand what's going on. They just see Myles Garrett, $140 million. Like that's what they see. And the reality of the situation is that's not what it is. It's a 4-year, 160, like for Myles Garrett, 4 years, $160 million. That's what we see. The guaranteed money's $122. So in a worst case scenario, it's 4 years at $30 million a year. 30. Like that just goes to show you too with the Derek Barnes thing, man. And that's why, Spenny, I saw you out there fighting the good fight about the Marcus Davenport. Mm-hmm. There are people out there that are like upset about the Marcus Davenport thing, which I can't understand either. It's literally almost the veteran minimum.
Yeah.
The veteran minimum.
There's no risk.
I'll take that spin. And guess what, Spenny? If you can, if Moody is back and you give him the veteran minimum, I'll take that spin too. 100% I will.
Lions fans want these guys to make every cent of their deal.
1,000.
If these guys make every cent of their deal, the Lions are probably going to be winning games because that means they're playing in all the games, they're playing well, and the Lions are doing well because you gotta expect. Obviously, we don't know the exact incentives for Davenport, but it's probably, hey, you got to play a certain amount of snaps. You got to have a certain amount of sacks, and Detroit has to have a certain amount of playoff success. That's normally how it works. It's sack-based, gameplay-based, and then, like, if the Lions win the division, you get $1 million bonus or something like that. So if these guys get paid, it's good for the team. You can't sign this guy to that much money. How dare you sign a veteran to a $1 million and a half contract?
Right.
Like, come on, guys.
And Neil, that sometimes you really do have to simplify it like you did. Worst case scenario, it's $1.65 million.
Yeah.
What?
They can
What am I missing? Help me out here, okay? A guy that, okay, we know what he is. There are questions. There's no doubt about it. And if there weren't questions, that contract would be a lot more than $1.65 million. But worst case scenario, it doesn't work. We have to move someplace else. What did it cost you?
Not a lot.
Right.
And that's why I don't, fans just don't understand contracts, and that's understandable. It's a lot of language in contracts. But like you said, Neil, just from the surface and what is being reported against what is, these are very, very good deals. And, if things were to go bad, then absolutely the Lions can find themselves, they can get out of these contracts. Brad Holmes wouldn't sit up here and handicap this franchise in one or two players by any means necessary. I think that if things were to go wrong, Brad would deal with it that way. But financially, he's not positioning himself in a bad manner. So that's what fans need to realize. Like, these are perfectly good deals, and if they hold up, then that means the Lions are doing well.
Nobody in the super chat, remember you can use the super chat and jump the line. Nobody says, I'll stop trusting Brad when we go back to mock drafts in October. The Lions are in the best position they've ever been. We feel anxious, but we have to trust. And Sean, and look, the news came out while we were on the show also that the Chargers are keeping Khalil Mack in-house at $18 million, whatever it is. So again, he was not available. Myles Garrett was not available. All these names that we were talking, Max Crosby was not available. So I'm not good. That's not going to make me have angst. The fact that people that weren't available weren't obtained, I don't have a huge problem with it, Sean.
Well, the Bears, I'm telling you, Neil, I don't know if you saw it. Bears Nation already had one of their fan favorites back in the lineup. I mean, it was a drop dead given that Khalil Mack was coming back to the Bears, and it just breaks my heart to see the Bears have any kind of heartbreak. It's just a horrible scenario. Fuck them. But listen,
you gotta feel bad for him.
Yeah, this is one of those things, Neil, that I like the way that he put it. Anxious is a good word. It is. You know what, guys? I'll admit it. I'm anxious. I'm anxious this year, and I'll tell you why I'm anxious. I know we're good. There is no doubt in my mind that we're good. None. Zero. I'll go a step further. There's no doubt in my mind they win the division this year. I'm serious.
I agree.
And Packer fan, if you're listening, Viking fan, if you're listening, I'm not going to include the Bears because you have no chance. But if you guys are listening, mark this, bookmark it, do your little cute little tweets all year. But just at the end of the year, make sure you come correct and take your medicine when the Lions win the North again. My anxiousness comes from, are we good enough to take the next step? Mm-hmm. And you know what, guys? I don't know. That's what I'm anxious about. That 100%. I know we've got a good general manager. I know we've got a good roster. I know we got a good coach. But whoever that was, Neil, props to you. That I might adopt that as my word this year. Anxious. I am anxious. Okay, I know we're good. How good are we? Are we get to the Super Bowl good? I think so. But I don't know. And I don't think any of us do. And that's what brings about the anxiousness.
And I think the anxiety comes with the expectations. It's Super Bowl or bust. Like, do I think they're going to win the North? Yes. Does winning the North matter to me? No. No, it doesn't. Look at last year. 15 wins. Greatest regular season in Detroit Lions history. Meant nothing. Absolutely nothing. It doesn't matter anymore. Being a good regular season team, making the playoffs, winning a playoff game, shit doesn't matter. If you don't win the Super Bowl, your season's a failure. And that's what it's going to be like from now on.
Woodward Sports chat thread, jump the line with the super chat. Ted Sauce too. The only problem is these deals for guys like Davenport happen before the draft and the rest of free agency when we see the full plan. I trust in Brad. And in the chat too, somebody else brought one up, and I missed it as it went through. They said something of the fact Davenport is like 0.5% of the salary cap. You could have 100. You could have 110 Marcus Davenports on the roster, and that's it. Like, it's just again, you go back to it, dude. It's a veteran minimum deal.
And the value for the money, he's an above average defensive end in this league when he's on the field. We all know the biggest question with Marcus Davenport is the injuries. Like, I see some people in here. Yes, I was critical of the deal. Yes, I said if I was doing it, I might not have made that deal, but I understand why Brad does that. The value that you're getting for the money that you're paying, he's an above average defensive end in this league when he's healthy, and you saw that through the games that he was able to play with the Lions last year. They clearly have a belief in that, and they want to spend it again. So I'm, as a fan, hey, it's cool.
Don't you want every deal to be low risk, high reward? Like, here, let me give you. Remember when the Wings signed Patrick Kane? I was mystified at the people weeping and wailing and gnashing their teeth. If you believe that Patrick Kane was done, tip of the cap, that's fine. But what were you losing out? What was that contract? I think at that point in time, you were risking very little. This wasn't going to hurt the Red Wings. It wasn't going to hurt the bottom line. And the reward could have been pretty darn good. And that's the way that I look at it for Davenport. I'm not putting the guy in the All-Pro game. I'm not putting the guy on the All-Pro team or anything like that. But you know what? Here's the key word, like you said. If by some strange chance he can stay healthy, this might look like a really damn good deal. And if he hits all those things, Spenny, like you said, I think every Lion fan is doing the Penguin with their pants around their ankles. I hope he hits every one of them. Both of these guys do.
We got to go to break.
To the break.
Yeah.
Yep. Do you like the Derek Barnes contract? 80% of the people said yes. That's a stark contrast to what we saw on social media. Where are we going, Spenny?
I'll tell them about socials. Make sure you follow all Woodward Sports social media platforms. You got YouTube, Instagram, X, Facebook, TikTok, Twitch. Follow us everywhere at Woodward Sports to get the best content in Detroit. Where else would you get it but Woodward Sports? Tap in all social medias at Woodward Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
What up, everybody? Neil Rule here for Caesar Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. You can scan the QR code on the screen right now and get in the game. Make your first deposit. Make sure you use the promo code Woodward1000. Then when you make your first bet, if your first bet loses, you'll get it back as a free bonus bet, all the way up to $1,000. Got something you want to take a spin on? There you go, everybody. Kind of a do-over, if you would. If your first bet loses, again, scan the QR code on the screen. Use the promo code Woodward1000 when you make that first bet. And if your first bet loses, you'll get it back. At Caesar Sportsbook, man, one of the OGs of the sports betting game. The app is clean. It doesn't glitch out on you. All the live betting is perfect in real time. So there it is, everybody. Caesar Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. All right, keeping it pushing. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neil Rule in Indianapolis. Golden Grizzlies in the Horizon League semifinals. And tonight I'll have the radio call for that. Sean Belizean in the compound in Birmingham. Spencer, KG, Chase, the birthday boy, in there as well. And happy to have you all with us. Jump into that Woodward Sports chat thread and get your thoughts out there. Adis 411, 10 minutes until NFL free agency. No doubt about it. We talked about the Myles Garrett thing. Sean, I do have to give Myles Garrett credit. He did something I've never seen before, and that was he used another team to drive up his value when he wasn't a free agent. When you reconstruct it, man, hey, job well done, Myles Garrett. Recognized game.
Neil, I gotta say, he played everybody. Like this is next level. It is. I'll reiterate it. He played everybody, and you know what? Tip of the cap. I'm serious. Good for you, man. I fell for it. I think a lot of people here fell for it. How many days did we have Myles Garrett conversations here?
Yeah.
We can't let him go to Philly. Oh, what if he goes to Washington? I mean, those are the kind of conversations we have. He knew what he was doing, and I'll say it again. This wasn't about winning. It can't be about winning. If you decide to stay in Cleveland, it can't be about winning because you have done it as well as anybody I know, okay, and pointed out the disastrous hole that this franchise is in for the foreseeable future.
Yep. So good luck, my friend. Good luck. And have a good time with it.
Yeah.
Woodward Sports chat thread. Grittville, USA. If Davenport plays 85% of his potential, 8 good games, he has outperformed his contract. No, 100%.
That's a good.
100%. It's
can I
this
read
is
this?
literally a veteran minimum move.
I saw Eric Woodward just had a comment on Twitter.
Shout out.
Marcus Davenport described it as, quote, horrible, having to watch from the sidelines last year while dealing with the injuries. He's looking to change up his daily routine to, quote, prove himself as a healthy component on the field going forward. And this goes back to what you said, KG. Nope, there is no elephant in the room, okay? We all know. He knows better than anybody. Injury is a word that you have to attach to his name, okay? And you know what? Now he has to prove that we don't have to worry about it. And it's not going to take just a few weeks. It's going to take him being out there more often than not. But again, I stress, Neil, okay, where's the loss in this? Worst case scenario, as you put it, where's the loss in this? Oh, golly gee, we spent $1.65 million. Whatever will we do?
Sean, here's a good one from Cody Engel. Neil, you asked folks what move when we were talking about the Red Wings. And we have more on that, by the way, coming up in the second hour of the Red Wing stuff. Our Hockey Elite text thread that I posed a question in there, and I want to bring that text thread to life in the second hour when we talk about the NHL trade deadline wrap up. But Neil, you asked folks what move when we talk about the Red Wings. It's time to ask the same folks what's a bold move. What is the move for the Lions and how it gets done? And Sean, and I'll ask you this. You talk about feeling anxious, and fans in the chat are talking about feeling anxious. To me, Sean, I don't understand, and I guess I'll ask you to get your take on this, is all these moves that happen were basically people re-signing with their team or extending their contracts or getting new deals. So I would ask then, Sean, I'm trying to figure out, and I'm not saying you, Sean, because you're not like this, but I am talking about the extremists out there in the social media that I may be done with the Lions. Brad doesn't know what he's doing. Those types of things. I would ask the question, what would have you anxious other than, and Sean, I think I know where you're coming from with that. It's that you're anxious because you don't know and you're not going to get an answer until the playoffs, i.e. the Super Bowl.
100%.
Probably it.
And you know, and I agree with what Cody said. And you know, Cody and I, and Cody, you and I went back and forth with the Red Wings last week. And Cody, I would, while I agree with you, I would also urge you to consider this. You're talking about two franchises, okay? If we're rolling up to Frankenmuth right now, the Detroit Lions are in Mount Morris. They're an exit away, man. They are literally an exit away from getting off at Birch Run and bam, you're about to get yourself a chicken dinner. The Detroit Red Wings are in Heartland. Okay, there's a good 45 minutes. They're so much further along And so, yes, I think you have to look at each franchise differently. You can't speed that up as much as you want to. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is talking about the Detroit Red Wings winning a Stanley Cup. Getting into the playoff as an 8 seed and being the sacrificial lamb, I might add, to the Florida Panthers, and getting to a Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl are just, my arms don't reach that far. So that's why, yes, I think in one regard, you're right. You can say, I'm anxious about the Lions. I'm going to say it all year. I am anxious. I am. I'm not going to, I know we're good. There's no doubt about it. Can we be great? All right? But I think to hold the Red Wings to that same standard, I know you don't want to hear it. I know many others don't want to hear it. Maybe if I take that tact and talk about how far along on the highway we are, maybe people will better understand it. I doubt it, but it needs to be said.
All right, let's take the break to get back on the clock. And when we do come back, I want to talk about the Za'Darius Smith thing, because that was a stunner. And I think a lot of people were stunned. Tell them about Jars, Benny.
Jars Cannabis. Listen, all right, Woodward sports fans, whether you're hitting the game or simply just chilling, Jars Cannabis should be your first choice if you want some weed. I mean, they got top shelf quality, unmatched variety, and a price for the people. Thanks. Right now, they've got 27 locations across the state, repping Michigan in a big way. 9 right here in Metro Detroit. And if you're in Grand Rapids, Madison Heights, or Milan, get ready because new stores are coming your way soon. Jars Cannabis should be your first choice. Get some of that DMAC brand in your life. You can get it at Jars Cannabis. Shopjars.com or jars_life on social media.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like DMAC. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Stop in, sit down, relax, get an amazing haircut from one of our lovely, talented stylists. You can get a hot leather, neck shave, scalp massage, hot towel treatment, all of that. You can add on Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
All right, keeping it pushing. Hour number 2, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule here in Indianapolis. Sean Belesian back in the Woodward Studios in Birmingham. Spencer Raxter, KG, Chase in the Chase Lounge as well. All of you in the Woodward Sports chat thread, subscribe, get in there, get your thoughts out there. Tons of people dropping in their thoughts. And I guess, Sean, we do have to talk about the Za'Darius Smith thing. And the moral of the story was I wasn't stunned, per se. I wasn't stunned. I would say one step short of shocked. But then when you start thinking about the, $7 million bonus that he was due on March 14th, I guess it makes some sense, right? In that you're going to save that money. You're going to increase your cap space like the Lions did. And I get where they're going with it. I do. But I was surprised, though, to see Za'Darius Smith released like that. I'll be more curious to see where he goes. Does he come back with the Lions on a different type deal? It's not something, though, that was a true stunner like the Myles Garrett thing was.
No, sorry, Sean, just real quick.
Go.
I was also a little surprised by it because I thought Za'Darius played well. And like you said, his bonuses this season would have brought his salary up to around $11 million. And even that, like $11 million for Za'Darius, who got 9 sacks last year, that's a pretty reasonable number for a guy of that caliber. But I think what hung them up, and I got this in Mike Payton's article. Shout out Mike Payton. He's a friend of the network, friend of the show. A to Z Sports. Make sure you go check him out. He does great stuff. He said that if he would have been on the roster in the league New Year, he had, no matter what happened, whether he re-signed with the Detroit Lions or not, in 2026, they would have owed him almost $6 million a year. Because of the void years and everything that Cleveland put on the contract originally, whether he's on the roster or not in 2026, the Lions would have had to pay him $6 million. I think that's what hung them up on it. I think that extra year of whether he was there or not is what hung them up on it, and they see it as they can draft a guy to get similar. They believe they could draft a guy to get similar production as Za'Darius Smith would have. And you're going to have him in a rotation anyways with Pascal and Davenport and whoever you draft at that edge position. So when I looked at that part of the contract, I kind of understood it.
Yeah.
So
plus the $11 million, that's a lot of money for Za'Darius Smith.
You say it's basically $17 million to keep him for next year.
Yep. I saw that same thing.
So.
I look at Z, honestly, I don't know if you guys feel the same way. Z is like what might have been. Like the idea of going out and getting him was tremendous. If all those injuries didn't happen, I wonder how much differently a lot of people would look at Z. Because you're right, Spenny, there was a lot of slander thrown his way.
Mm-hmm.
KG, I remember doing some of those shows on Sunday, and people were, when is Darius going to show up? And it was like, I remember vividly saying, well, a lot of times it may not show up in the box score, but it shows up in regards to, the views and the pressure that other guys around him are getting. I don't think he got the opportunity to really shine here because of all the injuries on the defensive line. Yeah. I think it could have been a lot different. And in that regard, best of luck to the guy and everything. But this could have been one of those moves. We talked about anxious. If all things were considered equal and this defensive line was even close to healthy, see Hutch being there, I really think this fan base would be bowing to Z right now.
And you got to give Cash Doll back.
Yes.
Right. You got to give her back. Yeah. No, let him keep her because he might come back to the city that way. But Sean, I almost said Neil. Sean, no, you absolutely right, and that's definitely a part of it. But I think fans just kind of undersold Z's impact. From the time he came in the door to what he finished the Lions season with, he literally is the reason you won on Thanksgiving. If he hadn't got that sack on Caleb Williams that sent them into a tailspin and they botched the last play, then you probably lose that game. And just overall, he came to the team with 5 sacks. He finished with almost double digits. And he was never going to replace Hutch's production. But for what he gave you at the time he gave it to you, I think that it made sense. And you only spent a 5th-round pick. It wasn't, the most compensation in the world. And hopefully you can just bring him back on a team-friendly deal because he did seem to, vibe with the culture and take to Detroit in a good way. But that's all we can hope for. But maybe Kelvin Shepard doesn't have a Za'Darius Smith in his plans on how he wants this defense to look going forward. And that's something you have to take into account, too.
Yeah.
Woodward Sports, super chat. Oh, shoot, I had it. And I lost it right there. Oh, here it is. Oh, we got it. Dirty Dr. D. I just watched a Davenport presser. He sounds like he doesn't give a damn. I'm so pissed we re-signed him over Smith. Pascal needs to take a big leap. Dirty Dr. D, that's not the takeaway that I got. The takeaway that I got was a man that said, I'm hurt. I missed too much time. I got to go show it and prove to everybody that I'm healthy. And it wasn't a re-signing over Za'Darius Smith. Davenport's on basically a rookie or a veteran minimum deal.
Yeah.
Spenny just gave you the numbers on the Za'Darius Smith thing. Essentially $17 million to keep him for a year. So that's not equal. And this is what I'm pushing back against. This is what I want the message of the show to be. You can't be mad over something that's apples to oranges. You just can't. Like you gotta know what the full deal is before you can sit there and really get upset about it, Dirty Doctor. That's my takeaway.
We got some breaking news here. Per Adam Schefter, Hassan Reddick has agreed to a 1-year, $14 million deal with the Buccaneers, $12 million guaranteed. So.
Okay, there's that. I mean, does he not seem like a Lions guy? The Reddick thing. Remember we had this discussion before?
Yeah.
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 Anybody upset about that one?
No.
No.
Not at all.
No.
Okay.
I would like to see us get DeMarcus Lawrence. That was a guy that I at the original release of looking at who the free agents were at the defensive end spot. I was looking at DeMarcus Lawrence and I was like, I would like that. And Azeez Ojulari, I know that's been thrown out there as well. I would take him as well. Pause. Yeah, those are the couple guys. The Harold Landry thing, that was never going to happen. He's a 3-4 guy. We run a 4-3. Hassan Reddick kind of the same way. They you know what they like. You know what Brad likes, and like I said, I can understand why fans got upset not getting one of these superstar guys, and I can understand you wanting that and being upset when they didn't get it, but you got to be reasonable and rational that that's not what Brad Holmes is. That's not who he is. He's proven it to you now that that's not what he's going to do. So getting your hopes up for it and being heartbroken is a choice that you made for yourself.
And I think
I just don't get who was it. What move happened? Who moved teams?
Right.
What superstar moved teams?
Yeah.
They didn't.
Josh Sweat. It sure sounds like he's going to move. But let's wait and see. I mean, that's where we're at, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I keep hearing about all this stuff, but the reality is, I mean, some of the biggest names out there, Neil, to your point, and we had a guy on multiple times before the season ended, even after the season ended, saying, guys, stop with the Max Crosby stuff. Like, stop it. He can say he loves Detroit. He can say, he's got roots there with his time at the factory out at Rynearson. He can say all that stuff. But here we are. And I think that's the scenario. I'm not going to bag on anybody. Yes. Do I want Myles Garrett? Yes. Do I think you're wrong to ask for this, that, and the other? No, because all of a sudden the Lions have some room to do some of these creative things. But the reality is it's probably going to be difficult. And this is why I say to the other side, how many times have we said this the last couple of weeks, Neil? Just because you want something big doesn't mean that you don't trust Brad Holmes, okay? But guess what? Now the clock is ticking. And now people can say, hey, man, this is cool, we're good, which is all I screamed personally during the beloved Caldwell era. All right, hey, this is cool and dandy. I'd rather have 9-7 than 4-12 and 5-11. But gosh damn it, at what point in time are you going to give us more? And you're not wrong asking for more. I will say that until my dying breath. To all the people out there that say, yes, they want more than what they got last year, you are not wrong. And so do I.
Woodward Sports chat thread. Cody Engel, problem is people thought Z was going to get extended here. He was only here because Hutch got hurt. He might come back. But was a Band-Aid player in the season. And yes, that's part of it. And he was fine. Like, he gave exactly what we thought he was going to be. Yep, he was 100% on brand. I got no issue with Za'Darius Smith. I'm actually disappointed.
Neil,
that's
that's the way I feel. That's why I'm going to say again what might have been on the heels of what you said and what Cody said. The idea of him being here with what we think this defensive line would be when healthy really is a good idea, and unfortunately we never saw it.
Burn in the super chat. I never want to hear about Max Crosby again after last season. He just uses his Detroit connection as leverage against the Raiders. Well, Burn, didn't Myles Garrett just do the same thing? He seemed to have.
Yeah, I'm not mad at those guys. Do what you got to do. Chase your bag, get as much money as you want, but they're not winners. They don't want to be winners, and that's fine. You're in this. This is a business. It's your job. You're in there to make money. That's fine. Maybe after the contract, you can go ring chase if you want, but whatever. Grease23 in the Woodward Sports chat with a super chat. He says, with Aleem still hurt, rather target a decent defensive tackle. That's where I'm at. I am starting to think that Brad Holmes is going to use his free agency money on a cornerback and a defensive tackle rather than a defensive end. And we've heard him. He's been on record saying multiple times he uses free agency to fill needs, uses the uses the draft to get talent. And I think the needs on this team right now are a defensive tackle and a cornerback one. I think that's what he does in free agency, and then he'll draft an edge or two.
You don't think DN is a need, though?
Not as much as defensive tackle or cornerback.
I don't know. With you losing Z, that's a big blow to your depth.
You know what? I'm looking at defensive end and IOL. Like, honestly, that's what I'm looking at if I had to guess. Now, remember, let's not forget, he's a BPA guy.
Right.
I'm not saying he's going to go off the reservation and, hey, Jade Milroe's there. We didn't expect him. But he's a BPA guy. But if I were to guess, and Neil, I don't know your thoughts, edge and IOL, interior lineman, that wouldn't surprise me at all. And there are a slew of guys in the first 60 that could fit that role for the Lions.
And that's it. Sean, you're exactly right. And that's what the draft is going to be for. 100% that's what the draft is going to be for. I think Spenny's right, because as they sit right now, they're, $53 million in cap space. They're 9th in the league.
Yep.
I think Spenny's right about it'll probably be defensive tackle, cornerback in free agency. And I think that's going to be the attack. And I think that's the way that they are going to roll out about it. Real quick before we go to the break, Mike G. Neil, is kissing the Grizz logo also an Oakland tradition? We do have our seniors, after the game is over on senior night, go out to the Grizz logo on midcourt and give their speeches. Yes, we do that. So, it's fairly common. It's fairly common practice on senior night.
Yeah, and Dusty May's traditions are getting their ass whooped by double digits. So, good tradition for him.
Yeah, but we don't play Michigan on senior night, so we don't have any issues. There's always one common denominator in these issues all the time. But tell about Mark White.
Mark White, if you're looking to buy or sell your home, Mark White should be your first choice. He can save you up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, $5,000. Visit him at markwhitesells.com or call him at 248-290-8242. Mark White will get you in your dream home. He should be your first choice. You're looking to buy or sell your house.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
It's the Les Stanford Sign and Drive sale. Get a 2024 Envision for $239 per month, a 2025 Sierra Crew Cab for $249 per month, or a 2025 Hummer EV SUV for $789 per month. Zero security deposit, zero due signing, zero first payment, zero acquisition fee. Check out their massive inventory at the Les Stanford Sign and Drive sale. Les Stanford Buick GMC, LesStanford.com.
All right, keeping it pushing. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, Sean Belesian here with you. I'm in Indianapolis. Sean's in the studios in Birmingham. All of you in the Woodward Sports chat thread. Huge viewership today, by the way. Thanks for tapping in to Woodward Sports. Subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Just about there at 80,000 subscribers. So thank you. We dominate the digital sports talk space of Michigan. There is no debate about that. So, but that's because of you guys. So thank you for that. We're talking Detroit Lions. We just wrapped up the Za'Darius Smith stuff. Woodward Sports chat thread. A bold move would be getting a Pro Bowl level corner, signing a Pro Bowl level cornerback. So I did what I always do. And I flip over to SpotTrack.com. I think that they're the best in the game at the contract stuff. And it's very nuanced, but if you wanna get into there, that's the site that I recommend. I pay money to be a member on it. It's not a ton, it's like $3 a month, less than $3 a month, something like that. So I just was perusing the free agent cornerbacks right now, and remember too, J.C. Horn just signed a $100 million contract. So that's out there. Yep. So
Neil, real quick, sorry, before we get into it.
Yeah.
I know we called our shots, with the Texans, a couple years ago. I'm liking the Panthers, man. Am I crazy? I'm liking the Panthers. I liked what I saw out of Bryce Young. If they go out there and they grab a wide receiver, I don't know.
Hey, Spenny, you notice a common theme with teams that you look at what the Texans did, you look at what the Panthers did, teams that when they're able to get the draft capital correct, what the Lions did, what the Cardinals did.
Yep.
When you get the draft capital correct, man, you know what I'm saying here? That seems to be the move. And then you have the Cleveland Browns on the other end of the spectrum, who will never be good.
I literally thought you guys can make fun of me. I said this when we were at McCarty's golf outing last year. Spenny, I liked Carolina last year. And part of it was what was in that division. Now, did I think that they were ready to take a giant jump up? No. But I think what you saw out of Bryce during the year really, really opened some eyes, Neil. This is a guy that had to take the step back and took the step back up. And when he took the step back up, he was all the better for it. So, legitimate threat, nah. But that little cute coochie-coo team that, wait a second. How the hell did they get the 4th seed? Well, because nobody else in that division is any good. So that's really what it comes down to for me. They could be a cute little team moving forward.
Chat thread. Oh, by the way, too, NFL free agency has officially kicked off. Chris Godwin will stay with the Bucs on a 3-year deal. But no, as we were talking before, somebody in the chat said, I want to see them go get a Pro Bowl level cornerback. So I go to SpotTrack.com. I flip open the available free agents as we sit right now at the cornerback spot. And at the top of the list, just in terms of money made last year, the number one available cornerback, Carlton Davis. That's what the market is. That's what the free agent cornerback market is. Charvarius Ward, DJ Reed, Jonathan Jones, Byron Murphy. That's your top 5 available. Spenny. Number 6, the 6th highest available rated cornerback, according to salary last year, Jeff Okudah.
Shout out. Bring him home.
Shout out to Jeff Okudah, yeah.
The guy I like for the Lions at cornerback is Paulson Adebo. I think that's the guy that they're going to get done, and that's the guy that they're going to target, because they talked about The Athletic put out a report that the Lions are looking to sign a veteran quarterback at about $12 million per year. Ward, Carlton Davis, DJ Reed, they're all going to be closer to $20 million than they are $12 million. I think Paulson Adebo is a guy that you could get on that $12 million a year contract because, he broke his leg last year. He's going to be healthy. He's good to go. He's already good to go now. He's got talent. He's got ability. And I think you can get him for cheap on that discount because of the injury. We know that's where Brad likes to live. So I could see them targeting Paulson Adebo.
Spot Track has him about $11 million per year. They project a 2-year, 22 and some change deal for him. But yeah, so those are the scenarios just in terms of what's available out there. Rusty Shackelford, bring back Carlton Davis, and sign Darius Slay. Can we try something, Sean? I want to try it. I know it won't work, but right. I want to try it anyway. The Carlton Davis thing right now. I want everybody in the chat to call your shot. What's your line? Spenny, I asked you this last week. What's your line? Sean, where do you say no to Carlton Davis?
20 plus. I'd give him 18 a year.
You give him 18?
I was going to say I don't think I'd go to 20.
Yeah.
I don't. I'd go, this is a unique situation for you where need, desire, and, oh, by the way, the opportunity to win, all those roads converge.
Yeah.
We're going to go as high as 18. If you get 20 from someplace else, best of luck to you, man. But you know deep down inside you're not going to get a better opportunity than this.
Yeah, probably. I'm same boat.
Well, I'd lie.
17. 17 is really my line. But if you want to throw him 18, I have no problem with that. I just can't go over 20.
Yeah, I don't think I'd hit 20. I don't think I'd hit 20.
What kind of term?
3.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, 3 years.
3.
He's what, 28 now?
Put a option in for the 4th year, something like that. Yeah.
What was he?
Woodward Sports chat thread. Rusty Shackelford, $19 million a year for Carlton Davis and $5 million a year for Slay. Art Vandelay, 17 is my max. Hoofhearted, $17.5 million. Dante, 151, $17.25 million. So there's that one out there. Charles.
If I see Carlton Davis re-sign with it or sign with a different team, and it's for $17 million a year, I'll be upset.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad you said that. Yeah. So would I. Because that just why?
If he does it and he signs a $20 million a year contract, that's fine. That's fine that the Lions passed on that. But if it's around $17 million a year and it's not like a 5-year extension, I would be upset.
Charles McClain, 2 years at $38 million. Charles. Guys, get realistic offers, okay? Let me see. If I was Carlton Davis and I'm 28, I'm not signing a 2-year deal. That's not. Yeah. And why would he? I wouldn't.
Right. This is the last contract that he can realistically make a lot of money on.
Yep.
So he's going to go for the biggest and the most money.
He knows it. Diminishing returns when he's 31.
And he's already got a Super Bowl.
Yep.
So it's not like he needs the ring chase.
Yep.
Woodward Sports chat thread. Thomas, dude plays an average of 10 to 11 games per year. And see, this is what I wanted. I wanted some discourse because the Carlton Davis thing, I think, isn't getting its proper attention right now. And you're at a line here with the Carlton Davis thing because we're talking about it right now. What is the line where you say no? Where is the cutoff point? Because make no mistake, he is vitally important. Vitally important to the Detroit Lions, especially where they're sitting. And I think, Sean, you're seeing the way that this NFL market is going. I brought up what Myles Garrett did and what Max Crosby did, how they used the Lions for leverage when they weren't even free agents. You get the most money parlayed with the most security with where you know where you're at and what is going on by staying with the team you're on. That's where you get the most, Sean, just in terms of control, and it seems to be you get a little bit bigger bag, and it's just this Carlton Davis thing, Sean, is important right now. And Thomas brings up a point. He plays 10 to 11 games per year. I asked a question because I don't really have a feel for it, Sean. I don't.
By the way, Neil, not to switch gears, but this is going to be one of those days you keep seeing this stuff come out there. That somebody in the Chicago Bears franchise has a clue right now, and that bothers me very much because we've already seen them make a couple moves to revamp that offensive line that was horrific last year. They signed Drew Dahlman from Atlanta, 3 years, $42 million, $28 million guaranteed. He is now the second highest paid center in the league. So the Bears got another good one on that offensive line.
They revamped that offensive. Hey, look, I'm not saying be terrified of the Bears.
No.
Because at the end of the day, Caleb Williams is their quarterback, and that will fail. I stand on that. I've been standing on that. You can have all the 12 for 16 for 90 yards first halves you want. You can do it all you want, Caleb. I'm not fooled, okay? But with that being said, Sean, you can't criticize them. They have revamped that offensive line in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, I give them credit. I told you it hurts me to say it, but all of a sudden somebody in that franchise has a clue. You know, I mean, that offensive line last year was offensive. And that's why in the offseason, I mean, again, a year ago at this time, in particular more 6 months ago at this time, people talking up the Bears was just pure comedy. All of a sudden it looks like they kind of get it. Guys, how many times did we say it? We said it the day after the Lions got eliminated. We said it the day after the Super Bowl. Trenches, trenches, trenches. I know it's boring. I know we all want to talk about cute little shiny things, okay? But you build your trenches, and then you go get those shiny things later.
Okay, let's to stay timely, let's take the break. I do want to just do like a quick little NFL free agency recap because it started at noon. And the moves there's news dropping everywhere. Just want to touch on them. We don't have to get in depth on them or anything like that. But I do feel as though it's important to stay on it. Just like it's important to get your Detroit sports wearables from shop.woodwardsports.com. Get the effing pick shirt anyway. It's a cool shirt. Just go ahead and get it anyway. Get ready for the Pistons playoff run. Yes, because that is happening. Big win for them in Portland last night. Trailblazers been playing good basketball. I think they were like 16-8 or 15-8 since January.
Scoot looks a lot better this year.
Yes, he does. But the Pistons were able to get the job done. So gear up, everybody. The weather's nice. It's going to be 72, I think, here in Indy today. I'm going to go run outside. I'm going to do it Chase style. But get ready for the golf because the weather's coming, everyone. Shop.woodwardsports.com.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network. The game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports. Detroit sports. Make sure you listen to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz next, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. on the Woodward Sports Network.
Neil Rule here for FeldmanAuto.com. The best deals in Detroit at Feldman Chevrolet in Novi. Why? They're Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer. They're the nation's #1 EV dealer. You got your eye on a pickup truck, they have it for you. You want the SUV, the 2025 Equinox. You can lease that for $286 per month. Yes, they have the deals kicking over there at FeldmanAuto.com. Scan the QR code on the screen. By the way, too, elite service department. Not good, elite. I know from experience, everyone. So again, FeldmanAuto.com, that's the move. All right, keeping it pushing. The show flying by today. Woodward Sports, Big D Energy, Neil Rule, Sean Belizean, Chase, Spencer Raxter, KG in the building also. Chan's Lax, I give him $15 million for 3 years. Take it or go play for a dumpster fire. Okay, good talk. All right, so just wanted to do this. It's just a little NFL free agency. It kicked off at noon. Things are going on. ESPN also reported to Jonathan Allen visiting Minnesota. That came courtesy of Adam Schefter and Jeremy Fowler. So keep an eye on that one over there. We talked about Hassan Reddick reached a 1-year deal with the Buccaneers. People already knew. Jalen Moore signed a deal with the Chiefs. Chris Godwin on a 3-year contract will stay with Tampa. 2 seasons that are fully guaranteed. Sean just talked about it. Drew Dahlman, 3-year, $42 million contract with the Bears. Boom. Just like that, your center position is taken care of for the Bears. Braxton Berrios has signed a 1-year, $2 million deal with the Houston Texans. Evan Brown will sign a 2-year deal with the Cardinals to stay there to play left guard for the Cardinals. Jair Alexander remains a member of the Green Bay Packers at this moment. They are not, quote, not moving on him yet. It remains to be seen what happens if they don't trade him and whether they would just outright release him. So we're keeping an eye on that as it rolls on. I mean, Sean, nothing really earth-shattering yet. The only, I guess as the Lions are concerned, Sean, for me, that Jonathan Allen thing, you know what I'm saying. I would prefer him not to go there.
No, 100%.
We all would.
My goodness. Yeah, thank you.
Right.
Right? No. This is so interesting. And Neil, again, I can't help but to go back to the beginning of the show when you brought it up. Okay, everybody's brain right now, with everything going on in the sporting world, with another Michigan State moment. With the Red Wings and some of Steve Yzerman's comments that I'm not going to lie, he lost me on. I know we'll get to it. What is everybody focused on right now? I can't keep turning my head at the television screen, Neil, and I apologize to you. Because seriously, I mean, you're seeing all this news drop to me to the screen right over there, and all these signings. The NFL is king. Period. End of story. It's March 10th, and all everybody wants to do is talk about who's going where, who's staying where. Oh, by the way, the schedule comes out in about 2 months, and before then, we've got this draft thing. It's all NFL right now. Make no mistake about it.
No, and Sean, I guess that's the point that I'm trying to make is you're at the time now. This is pretty much getting into peak March Madness time, and the NBA and the NHL, are kind of making their moves towards the playoffs, and the Pistons have exceeded everyone's expectations. Even Spencer, who was the most positive Pistons person and has the bet slips that I've already cashed to prove it, even Spencer wasn't forecasting a 45-plus win season, which is what it looks like they're on pace to do. And it is incredible, man. Just we are simps for the NFL.
Yep.
We just look at the viewership on the show today, Sean.
Yep.
Like that tells you all you need to know. Like, this is the NFL's world, man, and everyone else is just existing in it.
We are literally waiting for things to come down. It's like noon comes, and this is one thing that keeps giving. And I think in recent years, the MLB trade deadline has been the gift that keeps on giving. As we talked about last week, the NHL, what it was and what it is now are two different places. But I'll tell you what, the NFL gets it. Certainly Major League Baseball gets it with their trade deadline. It is March 10th, and the eyes of the sporting world are on what's going on in the NFL right now. They win, win, win. All they do is win no matter what. Honestly, that's it.
Nasty T, trade for Alexander.
No.
Trade Davis for Alexander, a 3rd or 4th round pick. Thoughts? Well, Davis is a free agent right now, so you're not able to trade him. No, I'm not interested in trading for Jair Alexander and his $25 million cap hit next year and $27 million cap hit the following year. No, I'm not interested in trading for that. And nobody else in the world is going to be interested in trading for that. If the Packers do release him, they would gain about $5.5 million in cap space. That's what's going to happen with Jair Alexander. If the Packers get to a spot where they can get access to somebody they have their eye on, I think that's when you'll see him released. Mm-hmm. If they don't, if they're not able to find somebody, I think you'll see them keep him. I think that's how that's going to play out.
Yeah, I don't think that. That's why, again, Neil, I mean, think about all the rhetoric. I mean, Myles Garrett was done. This was it. It was best to consider. He's going to continue his career elsewhere. It's been a blast. Thanks for everything. Right now, we're in rhetoric season. We are. There's so much rhetoric. And all these guys that were slated to go someplace else, how many of them actually gone someplace else? So it's rhetoric season. I got no issue with that, man.
What do you think of the Steelers' move, Sean?
They're trying to keep it alive. I mean, I respect that. I think it starts with their quarterback, though, Neil. Honestly, I don't know how anybody with a pulse could think that Russell Wilson could get the job done there. And I have all the respect in the world for the Steelers franchise. I go on, do it. Make the face.
Wait a minute. I was told he had a good year last year. That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know how anybody could think that. I don't know how anybody could think that the Steelers, if you want to be a legitimate team, you need a legitimate quarterback. Russell Wilson at one point in time, I thought he was vastly underrated at one point in time. I mean that. Russell Wilson is done. And I'm sorry, how many more examples do we need to see, right? I mean, this is the third team where he's kind of showing people he's done. So in that regard, I mean, it's cute. There's no doubt about that. Coochie coo, but I think until they make a change at quarterback, I don't know how anybody could call the Steelers legitimate.
Was that missed it as well? They traded for Geno Smith from the Seattle Seahawks. They gave up a 3rd-round pick for him. Geno Smith will bring a $31 million salary for the season. $16 million of it will vest on March 16th. So that's coming up. However, it's largely expected they will have an extension processed with him soon after the league new year begins on Wednesday. Spot Track, Geno Smith's 34, huh? Spot Track projects him towards a 2-year, $87 million extension after making $50 million in Seattle over the past 2 years. So you're looking at about 44 per for Geno Smith.
Well, as long as he's far away from the Lions, I'm okay. Because I mean that dude, the metamorphosis he makes to Geno Mahomes when he plays the Lions is unbelievable. I mean, it really is. I mean, he's lit us up a few times. So stay far, far away as far as I'm concerned, Neil.
DNC ENT, real quick shout out to the Steelers breaking the mold of the Steelers way and giving up assets to acquire that guy in their offense. Now DK and Pickens without a QB will be a movie on the sideline. Oh, yes, it will, DNC
That's a great point, dude. That's a great point.
Okay, Sean, I want to get to something that's going to be uncomfortable, and I know what it's going to lead to. And I'm going to do it at the risk of the NHL trade deadline recap. Funny boy Roddy, Sam Darnold going to be on the Steelers. I think they're more comfortable with Geno Smith than they are with Sam Darnold for that kind of money. Something reared its head in the Woodward Sports chat yesterday, and I think it's time to have the discussion once and for all. And it's around the Josh Allen thing, which can't just be the Josh Allen thing. It's got to be something else that comes up with it too. So we're going to spray down, and we're going to go in, and we're gonna discuss it when we come back, because I think it's time, and KG I think knows where we're gonna go with it, because they're out there and they're among us, KG, and we're gonna do it. Somebody want to tell them about Buddies?
Yeah, dude, tell them about Buddies.
All right, Buddies Pizza, everybody. The original Detroit-style pizza. We're so happy to have Buddies on board here at Woodward, and you can save 10% on your entire order. Use the promo code 10MEAL. You guys know you're getting your pizza at Buddies. They got locations all around the metro Detroit area. They've been in the game since 1946. Buddies is Detroit. They invented Detroit style. It's Detroit style pizza because of Buddies. Make no mistake about it. And you can save 10% on your order. Again, use the promo code 10MEAL. Pull up, dine in, carry out, whatever, get it set up, man. Buddies Pizza, the original Detroit style pizza in Detroit.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports is at it again, giving away more cash and more prizes than anyone in Detroit. Get into our March Bracket Challenge powered by Jug-A-Nathan Neurosurgery. If you have the biggest basketball brain and get the first place, you'll win $1,000 in cold hard cash. Second place gets a weekend at Grand Traverse Resort in Traverse City, including a brunch at Erie and golf. Third place gets 2 club seats to see the Detroit Pistons versus the Bucks with food and drinks courtesy of RHB Laboratories in Troy. If you can pre-register now at woodwardsportsbracket.com, then after Selection Sunday, fill out your bracket with your chance to win $1,000 in cash money and more. Go to woodwardsportsbracket.com now and register. All powered by the best in the game, Jugathon Neurosurgery and Woodward Sports.
Keeping it pushing here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neil Rule, Sean, Belize, all of you in the Woodward Sports chat thread. Yes, I did. I misspoke. My bad. The Raiders got Geno Smith.
Yes.
Steelers got DK Metcalf. My bad on that one. My bad. I say a lot of words during the course of a day. Some of them are going to be wrong by mistake. That's just the way
it happens.
That it happens. Spenny, I slacked you a tweet from our good friends at Spot Track.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. The news dropped yesterday, Sean, of the Josh Allen thing, which I didn't even think was too big of a thing. Like, it's not, he got paid, $55 million a year. He's still not the highest paid quarterback in the league because Dak is out there at $60 million AAV. But what I wanted to drive at was it reared its ugly head, and I think you guys know who the common players were in this. Because it can't be Josh Allen's contract. Jared Goff's got to be brought into the conversation because that's the way that it works. And Spenny, this was another. Did I send you the one with the cap hits percentage of cap with all the quarterbacks?
Oh yeah.
Here's what I wanted to drive at, and here's the thing about Jared Goff, and you guys know who it was. They tweeted out the list of quarterbacks and their percentage of the cap. And as you look at this on the screen right now, Josh Allen becomes a tremendous value. But you know who else is a tremendous value? Jared Goff is a tremendous value. Second in the league in yards, fourth in touchdowns 2 years ago. Second in the league in yards, fourth in touchdowns last year for Jared Goff. So the people like Easy that are out there, right, that are just going to go out there and make it about him. Look at those names on that list. And look at the money they take up. Look at where Jared Goff is. So you can say what you want, but Jared Goff at 12th on the list of quarterbacks being paid, and that's with his big-time deal. You can say what you want. Here's how you win in the NFL, everybody. You get an advantage in terms of what you pay somebody versus what the rest of the league pays somebody. That's where you get your advantage. That's why Brad Holmes is good. That's why Jared Goff is good. That's why Jared Goff is a good value. Those are the numbers, everybody. They are not arguable. Look at the names in front of the man. Look at them. So like the Easy's out there and everybody, and KG, they're out there. They're not going anywhere. That's so true. People like Easy et al., and especially the people that are here, in the chat right now, then go ahead and say it. Stand on business and say what you say in the dark. Say they can't win with Jared Goff. Say they're not going to win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff. Don't chase the cloud on social media and tweet one pride and talk about, I love the Lions. Just say it. Don't say it in the dark. Come into the light and say it. Say they can't win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff. Say it. Don't just sit there and say, in amongst your friends say it. Go public and say it. Say they can't win with Jared Goff. Please do it. That chart right there tells you. Say it. Say it. Tell me that they can't win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff as the 12th highest paid quarterback in football when he's second in the league in yards, fourth in touchdowns every year for the last couple seasons. Say it.
I'm a converted. I don't have anything to add. I openly admit it. I think one of the worst things in our business, Neil, is when a guy can't say I missed. Because we're so used to people not coming at us after the fact and saying, hey, KG, you were right. Mm-hmm. Hey, Spenny, you were right. Well, I'm used to that. No, nobody ever wants to tell you were right. You know that. Everybody wants to jump on you and tell you you're wrong. So I want to beat you to the punch. I missed on Jared Goff. I thought he was done. I thought he was beaten down emotionally. I thought he was beaten down physically. And what that guy showed me, I have no reason to believe, not just by your cute little chart, Neil, and I hope you understand the context in which I'm saying that, but based on what I've seen and the pieces around him, I have no reason to believe that Jared Goff can't go win a Super Bowl. And I swear to God, Stick came walking through on cue. Say his name and Stick shall appear. But honest, you guys, I don't have any reason to believe he can't get it done. I really, truly don't. And here he comes.
This is why this man is here. He knows what the fuck he's talking about.
No, I'm serious. But you guys, I'm serious. It's kind of an old bit when you put it all together. And this is where Neil's little chart just comes into play. Put it all together, put the eye test together, and what do you guys think?
Let's make it simple. Sean, is the 12th highest paid quarterback of value for what Jared Goff has produced?
Absolutely.
What are we talking about?
It's unarguable. There is no debate there. Like, if you want to go in a different direction, like Neil, like you said, if you want to say, I believe the Lions can't win with Jared Goff, okay, I can't say you're wrong. I can't sit here and say that you're wrong. I disagree with you, but I can't say you're wrong because that hasn't happened yet. What has happened is exactly in which you just stated. That chart and value go hand in hand. Make no mistake about it. That can't be argued.
No, and so again, that's what I want. I don't want you on social media talking about one pride, Lions making the moves and everything, when in your heart, you don't think you can win with Jared Goff. That's all I want. I just want you to keep it 100 with everybody. So, DNC ENT, Spenny is a convert, but his past life creeps out from time to time. Is that fair, Spenny?
That's fair.
All right. So no, I wanted to put that out there, man, because they are among us. KG, you know they're among us, man. Even in free agency, when Josh Allen signs a contract, it can trigger them.
That is a great contract by the Bills, by the way.
No, absolutely.
Gosh.
Amazing contract.
Neil, you know what that is. Golf haters are like the Aryan Brotherhood. You know, they are among us. But it is what it is. It is what it is, though. But two things that are, he's arguably a top 10 quarterback in this league. It is arguable whether he's top 5 or not. But when you have a guy like that in your locker room, he gives you the best chance to win every single time you go out there. So for what he's given us, as Lions fans, this is a great deal. And it was always going to be a great deal because Brad Holmes had the foresight to get this done early. And he has the chance to restructure as well. 2026, you really think they're going to incur a $69 million cap hit for Jared Goff?
No.
They're going to get that thing fixed, and it will be even more of a value at that point.
I still laugh at people going off on Dan Campbell after the loss to the Niners. I'm sorry. I do. And do you know why this is popping in my head right now? Because a lot of same arguments one can make about Jared Goff, I can turn around and make those arguments about Josh Allen. Mm-hmm. And anybody that knows me, I love Josh Allen. I've been talking up Josh Allen from the time he came out of Wyoming, okay? But you know what? He can't win the big one. He can't win the big one, okay? 5 years ago, if you told me that Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen would have never been to a Super Bowl, I would have laughed at you. I would have laughed in your face and say, okay, don't talk to me anymore. You and I, we got to go in a different direction. We'll just talk about other things. We're not going to talk about football anymore. And Neil, that day after the Frisco loss, people killing Dan Campbell. He's not wrong. It is not easy to get there. It isn't. We all think in terms of linear. Well, this has happened, so for sure the next step. No, it doesn't work that way. So you know what you do? The Buffalo Bills are in the same spot. I wonder if there are people that are treating Jared Goff, and I'm not being funny, or treating Josh Allen the same way that people here are treating Jared Goff. You can't win with Josh Allen. Look what he does in the big games. Oh, that's cool. He got the lateral and he took off the other way, and he does great things in the regular season. But we're paying a guy how much? That is an incredible deal. That might be, Neil, correct me if I'm wrong. Fact check me here. and this is why I'm going to include the word might, that might be the best deal for a quarterback in the National Football League.
Yeah, I think so.
Really,
Yeah,
it
You got
might
the
be.
MVP at 13th.
Right. So at the end of the day, to me, that's what it's about. Now, do you think that Josh Allen can give the Bills the Super Bowl? I think so, but I can't say you're wrong if you say no. And that's the same dynamic going on here with Jared Goff. I think he can, but you know where you got me and you got Neil and you got KG and you got Spenny, easy, is we all have to wait and see. I can't say you're wrong if you are one of those guys.
Woodward Sports chat thread, super chat, John Ellison. He's a value if you don't want a quarterback that will lead the team when it matters most. Prove me wrong. Okay, I'll look at the playoffs 2 years ago when he was perfect. He was perfect.
No, I don't think anybody, not even Easy, puts the San Francisco game on Goff. That was not. No, he played a good game. That wasn't on him.
Yeah, he was perfect that entire postseason, by the way. Again, so that's what it is. And I go back to it. Josh Allen, Lamar, Goff, they're all in the same boat.
Yep.
There's one last thing to check. Got to win the Super Bowl, man. And I've never ran from that. He's got to go do it. 100%. Both of them do. All right, let's take the break so we can get. I want Sean's wrap on the NHL trade deadline because he said something juicy earlier.
Yeah, and real quick before we go to break, Neil, there is a super chat in there from Ryan's Reactions. He says, "Javi is back?" Question. I don't know if you saw that, but 2 for 3.
Uh-oh.
Home run, too.
Hit another bomb.
Spinney guaranteed us 275 and 15 homers from Javi.
Everybody knows the key to helping your eyesight, especially at the plate, is hip surgery. Everybody knows.
New hip Javi.
New hip Javi.
And LASIK. And don't forget the LASIK.
His hip is in the best shape of his career.
Unbelievable. I'm ready.
Woodward Sports super chat, by the way. Nobody in the chat. Neil, you're scaring me, and it's only March. Well, buckle up, man, because that's the way that the people are. Hey, I'm going to be checking in on Javi on Thursday down in Florida. I got a new T-shirt for the deal. I'll have to send it to Spenny so we can see it.
It's fair.
So, but yeah, John Ellison, LMAO in the super chat. That's your proof? Yeah, John. When he was perfect for an entire playoff run? Yeah, that's my proof, John. What's your proof?
Come on, dude. Come on.
This is what, Sean, you see, KG, you see, this is what I'm talking about, man.
You know what? What John can fall back on, which we can't argue, though, is if they won a Super Bowl with Jared Goff, and we can't argue that.
And I think there's proof both ways.
Yeah.
Like you said, there was proof that he went out there and he had a great playoff run, his first playoff run with the Lions. That is proof that he can go out there, he can do things in the playoffs. He also had 4 turnovers in his last playoff game. And he also didn't throw it or threw 1 touchdown in his entire Super Bowl run with the Rams. 1 touchdown in the playoffs. Yeah. So like there's proof both ways. And like you said, the only way that everybody is going to be convinced of it is when they see it happen. So hopefully that's next year.
Tell them about Lady Jane's.
Lady Jane's haircuts for men. Walk-ins always welcome. You can sit down, get a hot lather, neck shave, scalp massage, hot towel treatment, or just an award-winning haircut from one of our lovely, talented stylists. Lady Jane's haircuts for men. Walk-ins always welcome. It's wicked awesome.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Neil Rule here for Planet Fitness. Over 50 Metro Detroit locations, thousands of them across the world. The best gym in the gym game. $24.99 a month for a black card. And look, you have people in your life that are paying $70 or $80 a month for a gym membership. Why? The weights weigh the same. Everything you need to thrive is at Planet Fitness. I've been a member for over 3 years. I'll never be a member at another gym. Just pull in the parking lot. You're going to pass a couple on the way home. There's over 50 of them in Metro Detroit. Planet Fitness. Don't pay more money to lift the same weights. All right, final segment of the show. Neil Rule, Sean Belizean. I'm in Indianapolis. Golden Grizzlies tonight against Robert Morris on TV on ESPNU. I'll be on the radio call as well. It's March Madness, everybody. It is time. Sean, I wanted to get your take because you said something that really intrigued me. And don't think I missed it. It might have got past some people. You said to the effect, and I don't want to misquote you, something to the effect of, Steve said some things that concerned you when he was wrapping it up. Can you please elaborate?
I was with a group of Red Wing fans when the trade deadline wrapped up. And to say that people were disappointed was an understatement, right? To say that people, and I get it. I'm going to continue to say it. Shout out to Cody Ingles. I get it. I understand where you're coming from. And I know Steve says he understands where they're coming from as well. But to say you made the moves that would best put you in a position to make the playoffs, I was with, I'm not joking, 5 different Red Wing fans at the rink, as fate would have it, and they lost their collective minds. And one of my friends looked at me and goes, I almost feel like he's trolling us now. And if I were Steve, I would say, look, there weren't moves that we thought made sense long term. There weren't moves that we thought made sense for us. We were giving too much up. We weren't getting enough back. But again, to say we did what we thought we could to help give us a better chance here at the playoffs. Peter Mrazek? Craig Smith? Hey guys, I know what's going to put us over the top. I know what's going to separate us from Montreal and the Rangers and Ottawa and Columbus. We're just a Craig Smith and Peter Mrazek away. I think people hear that stuff, Neil, and I'm just basing it on the reaction of the guys that I was with. I think people hear that stuff and go, what the hell are you talking about? And Neil, this is the point in time in the show where I say, I get his long-term vision. I think there are going to be a lot of flowers and apologies thrown his way sooner rather than later. But I think to say something like that right now was the wrong thing to say. It really was. And I think all that does is frustrate people even more than they're already frustrated.
Spenny, I asked the Hockey Elite text thread we have, which consists of Darren McCarty, who I guess is Hockey Elite, Sean Belizean, who is Hockey Elite, yourself, Spenny, I consider you to be Hockey Elite, young Justin. I asked the question, can you give me the Dylan Cousins deal? Because, like, is that pretty much the poster child for what people wanted versus what they didn't get from Steve Yzerman? What's the Red Wings equivalent to what Ottawa gave up for Dylan Cousins?
We talked about it in that chat thread that they don't really have a guy to match Norris because he is a 30 goal scorer in this league, but he does deal with a lot of injury. He's like in between DeBrincat and Compher when it comes to what the Red Wings could have offered. But when you look at what they gave up in total, it would have been like the Red Wings giving up Marco Kasper, Albert Johansson, and probably Compher or Kopp. One of those guys for Dylan Cousins.
That was my first reaction, Neil. If you it's tough to make that comparable because Norris is kind of a unicorn. Do you want to give up on him yet?
Yeah.
He's still relatively young. I saw him at USNTDP. Spenny, I'll never forgive him. His dad was a Spartan. He went elsewhere. I'll never forgive him. But all jokes aside, Neil, do you want to give up on a guy like that? No, but do you want to give up a lot to take a chance on that? I'm not so sure about that either. And he's kind of the first guy to admit he just hasn't been able to stay healthy, and it's affected his game. So there's nobody in Red Wing land that I think fits that bill right now, but that was still a pretty, big price to pay, man. It really was.
And when you parlay that for me, and Spenny, you said no. You said you're drawing the line and you're not doing that. When you put that package together, for me to take on a $50 million contract for a guy whose best year wasn't this year or last year, but the year before, I'm not taking that risk, man. I'm not. So that's all. I wanted to touch on that and see. And I just didn't see anybody out there that kind of fit the Red Wings to acquire. I just didn't see it, Sean. So I can't get mad at the man. For real.
I still laugh that we all joked about Brad Marchand going to Florida, and then Brad Marchand went to Florida. That's going to be one of the biggest bitch teams we've seen, and I can't wait for it. I have my popcorn ready. I am going to watch them every opportunity I get. They are just going to be a blast to watch.
All right, that will do it for today's show, man. That flew by, as it always does. So, again, for Sean Belizean, Spencer Raxter, KG, Chase, I'm Neil Rule. Thanks for tapping in Big D Energy. Golden Grizzlies tonight, everybody. ESPNU and on the radio as well. Check it out. Thanks for watching. Well, see you later.